Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of ADA Talks. My name is Adam, and today my guest will be Jory Pradjinski from none other than Hope and Still, Everyone In. Now, for those who do not know what Everyone in, I myself do know what Everyone in is. But for those who don't know that, we will get into a greater aspect of what he's got going on. Today, we're going to be talking about an event called Everyone In. So my guest today is Jory Pradjinski, not only from hopeandstill.org, but he's also part and the founder of an event called Everyone In. That is an event that has been going on for quite some time. So, Jory, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I am so happy that you're here with us today. Um, this is not only content for 88 Talks radio station, but it will also be content for Everyone In. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. So, Jory, my first question to you this afternoon is, how did you come up with the name, and how did all of this get started?
And you're referring to Everyone In.
Correct.
So, Everyone In, the concept of Everyone In started in 2020, the year which we all know what came out of it. And we were looking to do something that celebrated disabilities, to kind of shed the light on the stigmas that need to be removed from that, all of the amazing work that and talent and beauty of people that exist out there. And so Everyone In was in October of 2020, a virtual event, and we had interviews with adaptive artists and adaptive sports. We had a lot of people who do music and talent perform for a way of them to kind of work through their disabilities, finding purpose and finding improvement in the quality of their lives, which is the base of Hope and Still. But so Everyone In, the name itself says it all, because in where we need to be in a world, everyone involved, everyone included.
I mean, I know that's your motto, and I love that motto. I mean, we've talked about it off air, but for those who don't know, just go on a little bit deeper of what that is, and you know. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I'm just trying to come up with topics off the top of
I
my
have
head.
no problem being put on the spot. That
So,
works for me any time of the day. So there are stigmas that exist in society that a lot of people know. They don't necessarily want to admit. They've got the blinders on and they're just kind of in their little tunnel vision, which is okay. It's all right. Understandable. But for myself, a pet peeve, when I hear the term inclusion, inclusive, diversity, and as I listen to those topics talked about, there's one group I have always heard left out, and that's people living with disabilities. And that opens up to the broader range of people living with chronic illness, people living with chronic pain, people living with mental health challenges, visible and invisible disabilities. And they're not included at the table. They're not invited to the table, which is one of the terms we hear out there. Everyone should be included at the table. And that
amen.
So,
Amen.
yeah. So in so many things in life, a lot of good people have very good intentions, and they talk about these things, and it gets talked about, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Um, I've my passion for this is so deep because I live with so much of this, um, and it needs to be beyond just a conversation. So why not have an event?
Yeah.
Why not blow this thing out of the water? Make this thing huge
Yeah.
as it should be, and globally, because this problem doesn't just exist in Milwaukee, in southeast Wisconsin, in Wisconsin. It's everywhere on the planet. And so we need to be able to start reaching out. We need to start connecting all those people together.
Yeah.
So that's everyone in part of this event. And the abilities fair aspect. The wellness part comes in from there was the wellness fair, which had taken place generally in Waukesha County, um, probably about 4 or 5 years or so before 2020 hit us. And it
Yeah.
was focused on alternative treatments. So alternative treatment practitioners came out. They would demonstrate what they do, talk about different opportunities and modalities, from chiropractor being the most known, to Reiki, and to Tai Chi, Qigong. If I say those two together, I always get mixed up.
I have this right here if you need it.
and then speakers on different topics around wellness. Well, wellness is for, wait for it, everyone. See how that kind of
Yeah.
I'm kind of simple-minded in this stuff, so I just trying to go
Yeah.
with what's easiest. But for people who improve their quality of life, for you, me, Tom, Dick, and Harry, to improve the quality of their life, it's wellness. It's what we eat. It's how well we sleep. It's the attitudes, the people you're around. If you're around negative people, that affects your wellness.
Yeah.
If you're around positive people and encouraging people and funny people,
Like
not that
us.
we're here, yeah. Those
Yeah.
are all things that improve your wellness. When you can laugh, especially when you can laugh at yourself. I laugh at myself all the time because why not? I deserve it. Um, so that's the wellness part, but it's bringing it all together.
In one big event so that we can all celebrate lives and just be there, be there for each other and help each other. Pray for each other, for those who are, going through a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
I know, um here in the US, because eventually we're going to have global watchers and listeners. But for us here in the US, we are currently dealing with an air quality alert, um, from Canada. And they've been talking about, all the toxic fumes from all that smoke that we've had here in the US. Um, I haven't heard about this because, um, with all the top, I haven't heard about this yet, but you probably have, from people that you've probably talked to, and how the smoke has affected their lives, um, as far as chronic lung pain and stuff
Yep.
like that. You
Yep.
know, you you know, can you? I mean, I hope I'm not getting off topic here,
No,
but can you speak to that a little bit on,
certainly.
what
Certainly.
that means, and because the goal here is just to get together and let people know who are suffering. There are resources out there, and there are people out there who care.
Yeah, I like our conversations, Adam, because of the fact that we're not afraid to go outside of what we have in our considered topic to begin with. Because we can't keep this contained into one topic. Between you and I, we can't anyway. Um, but it is affecting so many people. Everything with the air quality is affecting people. For myself, I just, oh, hey, I'll go out there. I'll just keep going because I'm stubborn.
Yeah, there
You
are.
know, I'm stubborn. However, now it's interesting as you were mentioning that, Adam, and I will get to that in just one hot second. Everyone knows someone right now in the United States and Canada that are being affected by the smoke from the wildfires and everything that comes across. Everyone knows someone who's living with a disability. Everyone knows someone living with chronic illness. Everyone knows someone living with chronic pain and mental health challenges. It's all out there. But what hit me when you were bringing that up, my grandfather had emphysema.
Okay, I
He had
think I
worked
know a
in,
little bit of what that is.
yeah, it's he had asthma and emphysema, but it was his lungs. It really, he had worked in foundry, um, so that wasn't, you know, the most healthy place to live, but provided for his family. Um, and I know that if he was around now, that he would be having some serious problems. My dad ended up with lung problems from um, being part of the soldiers volunteered to watch A bombs going off in the 1950s, and that really affected his lungs. And he ended up on oxygen too. But if he was still around, this air quality would be giving him challenges.
There were days where I couldn't even go outside, even for 5 minutes, because it was so hazy. I immediately got a headache, and during those days, I thought of you because I know how much you struggled through those days and how hazy it was. You know,
Yeah,
I just, I so on bad days like that, folks, just pray for those chronic illnesses, chronic pain, breathing problems. Just pray for them. And if they need help, reach out and just ask if they need help with anything. Even if they deny it, still do something nice for them. Because,
exactly. Make
be,
make the offer. I'm
yeah,
glad you said it that way, Adam.
yeah, make the offer. There's a lot of people who say they're fine, but you can tell it in their body language. They're not fine. So go out of your way to do something nice for someone, even if they deny it.
Yeah, letting them know you're there. Because for a lot of times it's not easy for people to ask for help, much less accept help.
Yes.
I'm certainly not like that. Yeah, no. But if you let the people know you're there, hey, can I pick you up something? Can I need any help? Whatever it might be, um, just so they know. And if they say no, 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 I'm fine, that's cool. Check on them again. Say, yeah, I know you said you were fine. I really care about you. I just want to make sure you're doing okay. And that too is how we bring the world together. It's how we
Yes.
start to get back to caring about our neighbors.
So folks, that's what the event everyone in is going to be about, is not just the personal stories, but to gather around, and there will be different vendors there, different resources that you can possibly talk about and listen to, that you may not even think of. We're in just just about 15 seconds here. We're going to talk about the keynote speakers, and um, let me tell you, he's got a magnificent main keynote speaker coming up. I saw his video on the Every1in website. Oh my gosh, how inspiring is he?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so Jory, can you talk a little bit more about, can you talk a little bit about the keynote speakers and a little bit of what people can expect?
Um, our keynote speaker, and yes, he is. We're very lucky, very fortunate to be able to have him on board, Jonathan Hyder. And folks want to know more about it, literally go to our website, everyonein.com. Every number one in.com. And right on the front page, you'll be able to read about, click on the link, read more about Jonathan, watch the video. Um, he is an amazing young man for everything he's accomplished. And I really don't want to give much more away than that. I think when people go and watch it is what's going to really move them. Then we were very fortunate to end up with Dr. Michael Lenz, Lenz, a local doctor who has a real specialty in fibromyalgia. And fibromyalgia is a real bugger of a severe chronic pain problem. And it's one that, because chronic pain isn't really understood as well as it could be by a medical system. So a lot of times it's like, well, it's all in your head. I've had doctors tell me that. So it's like, yeah, okay, fine. But Dr. Lenz focuses, he's a pediatrician, but he's gotten into focusing on fibromyalgia, helping people get actual sound diagnosis, and then helping them through lifestyle changes and through, non-traditional medicine of improving the quality of their life. Does he come in magically takes away their pain? No,
No.
there's no magic. It's improving the quality of your life. That's where we find our new life. And so, and he's over 100 podcasts now on conquering your fibromyalgia. He wrote the book, Conquering Your Fibromyalgia. So I landed him and I was like, this is a good problem to have. He would be a fantastic keynote speaker, which we already have. So he is our special featured speaker.
Awesome.
So
And then you mentioned a little bit about the keynote speaker. For those who are still interested, how can they still get tickets? How can they attend even though they're out of state?
our tickets are available through Eventbrite. Go to Every1in Wellness and Abilities Fair on Facebook and get to our event page and be able to order their tickets, be able to share the event with others, which we really, really encourage. The more people who just do that one little piece of saying, hey, you know what, this is really cool what you're doing. Yeah, I do want to let the people I know aware of it. Right now, the tickets are half price early bird sale. So they're $10 at the door. Right now, they're $5 a piece. And this is going to be for in-person and for virtual, because we're going to have virtual vendors. And that means it is organizations, people, speakers that are outside of our immediate area. And I'm going to tell you quickly about one, just to give people a little flavor of what we're talking about on the virtual side.
Yeah, that's my next question. Can you talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit on how the virtual side of things are going to work? How people can join virtually? Because this might end up being me personally. How
And
people can join virtually.
and that's a great example, because the virtual part of it doesn't just mean that, oh, hey, this is going on in Milwaukee and I live in, Utah. For some people, they want to go, but they've got a bad pain day,
Yes.
which I get. Um, Luckily, it's September 30th, so in Milwaukee area, no snow. But
Or
they can,
we'll be dealing with cold, but the white stuff should not be on the ground by then,
yes,
as
yes,
of yet.
yes. Um, but we want to make it available for people to be able to check it out at home. And so what they're going to experience there is called Event Hub, and it will be a map of the exhibit hall with the vendors, and you can go around and you can check out which vendors are there, which vendors you might want to check out. So somebody goes on there and they say, hey, I got this, hey, there's this chiropractor, and I'd like to know more about this chiropractor. Or a better example, let's say there's a Reiki practitioner, and people are like, what's Reiki? I'd like to learn more about this. So they click on it. On the virtual site, it'll be like a mini website for that vendor and for each vendor. So they'll be able to have their logo and their colors. They can have some images up, information about what they do, what they offer, videos if they have some videos, and then they can get an understanding of, well, what's Reiki and who's this person, and be able to find out more. Some vendors, depending on what their situation is, if they're in person and they are able to have somebody else manning the virtual booth, then the person at home can say, hey, there's this button, talk to. I forget exactly what it says, talk to the vendor. And they can actually have a conversation with that person that's back at the office of the Reiki professional. And so they can get some information. If it's somebody who's local, can I work on getting an appointment while the other person is at the exhibit hall talking to people? So that's the beauty of a virtual event. And it's taking the lemons that 2020 was and turning it into not just lemonade, but lemon meringue pie, lemon crusted fish, lemon ice cream,
or a snow cone because it's in the fall.
Exactly. Why limit yourself with lemonade?
Yeah.
Think of the possibilities. As you hear, this is what we're talking about. One virtual vendor we're going to have, he does breath work. Don't know what breath work is. Literally, don't ask me. I can't explain it. I know it's something that's really cool because of how we breathe can make a difference with our health. Everything that's going on with people with lung problems, that can be something that helps them well. She just had her first, she called it Poetry Fest. And it is people who have chronic pain, chronic illness, and they write poetry to talk about their health challenges. So it gives them an outlet through poetry. For me, one of them was the monster from my chronic pain, which was trying to do me in. She's from New Zealand, and no, she's not flying in to be a vendor, a virtual vendor.
Yep. That would be an example of a virtual vendor.
Because her breath work, see clients virtually. People don't have to go to the office. So you might find somebody who does breath work and they're a mile away from you. Cool, go for it. But with any practitioner who does virtual client interactions, we're like the best place for them to be a vendor and promote. And then her accent is awesome.
Yeah. So I think
it's a lot of fun. So those are some of the things that we're looking to get out. Now, the other side of it, somebody, breath work, that sounds great. Katie from New Zealand, okay, it sounds great, but I don't know if that really is going to work for me. But you can then hey, I want to find breath work. I've never heard of breath work. Now I can Google breath work therapy near me and find somebody who you can work with.
Yeah, and it's not just about the people you search for and you want to work with. Even though you listen to a vendor and you watch a vendor explain, and you come back and you say, "Oh no, the vendors don't really work for me. I'm not going to get involved." Doesn't matter. Still, it's all about the inspiring stories.
Yes.
That because we want to include everybody. Um, we don't want you to be shut down after 30 seconds. I'm not coming back. That's not the goal here. Even if you don't think you can't afford a vendor that at the fair, um, the goal is not to do anything. It's just the other side of it, like we talked about before, the other side of it is just socialize with people. Hear the inspiring stories, and this might come back to a story that you may want to tell about your own experience. If you do, get a hold of us at 88 Talks and everyone in Hope and Still. We can get you on the air, and you can tell your story however you want to tell it, as much as you like. We're here to listen. We might back comment off of you with ideas and questions, but we're here for you. Together, myself and Jory, we will interview you because we feel that you have a purpose. And that's what Jory is looking to do here in September.
That's why I love working with you, Adam. Folks, Adam and I play off each other so well because you just said purpose. And that's Katie is an example. She's dealt with a lot of chronic pain. And she could have went the way of, this is it. My life is, what am I going to do? But she got interested in breath work and how can she help others? And then she got interested in poetry and how that can help others. And that's a lot of what people will get, our attendees or visitors will get coming to the fair. You're going to find things that, I didn't know, equestrian therapy. We're going to have somebody there, a local ranch that does equestrian therapy and animal therapy. I think that's just so cool. We're working on getting an adaptive horticulturalist. Okay.
Wow.
You're like, what the heck's an adaptive horticulturalist?
Yes, please. What is that, Jory?
It's plants. It's plants. It's getting people, maybe they can't really do landscaping, but they can do potted plants. Maybe I can grow herbs. I can create an herb garden for my kitchen and just have some pots with different herbs. I know a guy who makes his own salsa. So he grows his peppers and his tomatoes to make salsa. And it's one of the things he does that he can do that improves his quality of life. It's something that he enjoys. And so that's a lot of what opens the doors. Now, I'm going to kind of come back here a little bit too, Adam, if I may.
Yeah, that's fine.
As far as, because what we just talked about on purpose, what can people do when you look inside yourself and you say, this is where I'm at. And this isn't even for people who have any type of a disability. Because when you look inside yourself, it's like, what do I have? What do I have to give? Well, in addition to the 2 speakers I mentioned, right now we have 7 additional speakers.
Did you add more since we last talked off air?
Yes.
Why am I not surprised?
I'm looking for a few more, but 2 of the speakers, it's music based. So one lady who is, she teaches music theory and therapy. And she has a small band she started. She's a lovely lady, more therapeutic, what music does for us.
Okay.
How it can make us feel.
Yeah, because I had to repeat that because I'm thinking I can relate. When I was younger, I went through music therapy. Theory and therapy. How does that?
I think we have another podcast sitting there now. We'll have to touch on that.
We'll touch on that later, but that's another topic.
Kashina, music has been something very powerful for her and her family to help them get through a lot of traumatic events. And music was always there for them to be able to get through things. Jesse Freeward is the other music speaker presenter, and he is an injured Army veteran. Music, learning to play music, learning to play guitar, writing music is what helped him be able to come back from his experiences. And so both of these artists are they're going to talk a little bit, tell their story a little bit, play some music they wrote, talk a little bit more, play a little more music, and talk a little more, and then question and answers. All of the speakers after taking what they had. Now, another guy, Charlie Ray, he's a powerhouse to listen to.
Yeah.
And Charlie Ray had probably I cannot believe how emotional this could be, of losing your son.
Really?
Yeah, his son, and Charlie talks about it.
So he's open about it. Yeah.
And he took that experience, he's taken that experience to help others be able to get through their trauma, be able to understand, to be able to get through it. And again, Charlie could just said, my gosh, what am I going to do? And I'm just going to try to get through the rest of my life because everything sucks. But he looked and said, wait a minute, what can I do differently?
I'm gonna stop you there, and we're gonna hold that as a teaser. His question was, what can he do differently? For that answer, I want to find out, I want to find out, what did he do differently? What was the answer? And I'd like to save that for another podcast.
And it is something that Charlie has to tell.
With the event coming up in September, I'm going to give a little bit of teasers to my listeners and to our watchers on YouTube or wherever you decide to post this. Prior to the event, we are going to have little mini broadcasts. They're going to come on for about, half hour with some of the speakers, and they're going to give you a little bit of teasers of what they're all about, because Jory's goal here before the event, to give you a little bit of a teaser of what you can expect from them in September. There's a lot more folks coming up here, including the keynote speakers on Jory's schedule.
Right now, people can check out the website, Every1in.com, and see the speakers we have. We don't have them all listed on there yet, but we want people to go to the website, look up, learn about Jonathan, learn about Dr. Lenz, learn about Kushina and Dave, Linda, and Charlie and Jesse. Read a bit about them.
Yeah.
And then with the recordings you just mentioned, Adam, what my desire is.
Can you explain what your goal is with the mini recordings? I mean, for those who don't, I know what the goal is for them, but for those who don't know, listeners, watchers, can you go into that a little bit? And that's how we'll end this broadcast today.
My goal is to help provide kind of like an introduction of the speakers to our audience.
Thank you. That's what I want. That's what I meant to say. Introduction to the speaker.
Yeah. To the person, which you can see the face on the website too, but to listen to them a little bit, listen to their passion, listen to their enjoyment, whatever it might be. And it will help attendees as well, Adam, to decide which you need to see that speaker and that speaker and that speaker. And I hope I can get to hear this one.
Like Jory just mentioned, that's the goal with the 30-minute teaser videos that we were going to start broadcasting. I wanted to make sure we get that out, because I know that after this broadcast, that's what you mainly want to focus on, is those mini broadcasts. Is what at least what I'm calling them, mini broadcasts. I know that's your next focus for when we get together again. So yes. I just want to make sure that that's what we mentioned here, because I just want to put that out there as a little bit of a teaser from not only my listeners, not only your listeners on the Every1in channel, or the Hope and Still channel. This broadcast is actually going to go on both your Hope and Still and both your Every1in channels.
Yes.
So, and what I mean by that is I'm mentioning radio.co, my radio station, as well as my radio channel. So,
kind of a little bit of a teaser, but to help people understand.
I don't want to give them too many.
I won't, but I'm going to give them the method to our madness.
Okay.
Maybe. Using what we have available for tools in our toolbox, when we do a recording like this, we have the video, audio, so that can go on to our YouTube channel and go on to Every1in, and that way. And then we can pull audio off, which is what's going to go on to the 88talks.co channel for the podcasting. And that's what's going to go into Adam's channel. It's what's going to go into the Every1in channel on 88talks.co. Eventually, it'll be content that'll go onto the Hope and Stilled channel on 88talks.co. So we can really leverage it. It's taking what we have, and what can you do with it?
We can do a lot of things. There are main things I want to make sure that our audience and our viewers understand, because I feel like we're going to run out of time and we're going to forget about the important stuff. So, which can happen with both of us.
That we never end up talking for hours. Come on.
There were some important topics today about the event that I wanted to make sure were mentioned, and what our next steps are after this broadcast. It's going to be a lot of fun going forward.
Oh, yes.
Yes. My listeners on the 88 Talks Radio, we'll talk again soon, and this video for our watchers will be on YouTube hopefully within the next month, because Jory does the video side, I do the audio side. So, and the beauty about StreamYard, thanks to them, download it separately from the cloud. So, and we'll look into that. So, but thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to more content coming your way shortly. Thank you so much for joining us today.